been given the bye into the next round. So we're just going to go on time qualifiers, as we did with the 100s yesterday and the 400s. That's the competition format here for the Commonwealth Games.
Athletes out on the track then for this first of 6 heats in the women's 200 metres. There's a Beyoncé de Freitas of the British Virgin Islands. Went out in the heats of the 100 here, twice their national champion. Trinidad and Tobago's Reese Webster, she too went out in the heats here. 23.05 for Besto, and that was this year. She ran that back in April, late April, in the USA where she's at college, the 24-year-old. So Alison Bell of Scotland goes in lane 2. She's a 23.01 performer. That from last year in 3 there. Bell to the right of picture, top right of picture. Webster of Trinidad and Tobago goes in 3. Then the Maldives Ziva Musa goes in lane 4. She too went out in the 100 heats, but and a personal best. Natasha Chetty of Seychelles. She likewise another athlete who exited the competition from the 100 heats. So we are starting from the outside. There's Beyoncé de Freitas, we saw on the outside. Isatou Sey of Gambia goes in lane 7. Disqualified from the African Championships 200 final back in May. Abigail Paulett, better known perhaps as a heptathlete. She's the Welsh athlete, goes in lane 6. That's a nice lane draw, 23.01. Hasn't run a 200 this year. There's Chetty, Natasha Chetty of the Seychelles. Went out in qualifying in the Commonwealth Games high jump back in 2022. Ziva Musa of Maldives. As I said, by her standards, a good 100, but she went down the heats here. Reese Webster of Trinidad and Tobago, second in her heat in 11.63 in the heats of the 100 where she went out. She has run 23.05, and Alison Bell of Scotland, listen to this. Good crowd here on the 2 bends. Runs for Giffnock North Athletics Club and attended Edinburgh University, did Alison Bell. She shared a flat actually with fellow Scottish international, a certain Megan Keith, who ran the 10,000 a couple of nights ago, and triathlete Isla Britton. So Beyoncé de Freitas on the outside, semi-finalist in the 200s 4 years ago in Birmingham. Just needs to negotiate this first heat of 6 in the women's 200 metres from lane 8. They settle into their blocks now. Top 17-time qualifiers go through from these 6 heats. Nobody guaranteed. Nobody guaranteed a spot in the next round in the semi-finals, although really good running from the 2 on the outside. Say of Gambia and de Freitas on the outside of British Virgin Islands. Good running too from Bell on the inside for Scotland in lane 2. She's working harder up against Webster, having a little battle against the Trinidad and Tobago athlete. Really good running on the outside. De Freitas coming here is going to take this from Bell. That's 1, 2, and 3 there in lane 7 is Say for Gambia. Winning time 23.25. Well, De Freitas has gone a little bit quicker than that, but it was a nice win nonetheless. Just waiting for that time to be confirmed. It is 23.25. Bell, 23.38 in second place. That is a season's best for her. Really good from a tight bend in lane 2. She eased away from Webster, the Trinidad and Tobago athlete, very comfortably. Say was third, of course, out in lane 3. She ran 23.76. That for her is a huge season's best and not far off her lifetime best. But none of these athletes can sit in their laurels just yet, because there's 5 more heats to come, and they just need to make sure they're in the top 17 of the fastest after all 6 heats have been run. Big gaps there, Hannah.
There were quite big gaps there, and we'll just wait to see these 6 races unfold. I think we'll just be 6 semi-finals, so we are going to lose quite a lot of these athletes. And de Freitas, really good response from yesterday. She was very close to making the final of the 100 metres. She was just outside, so a good composure to come through for the win.
Danny, if you were to give last night's conditions marks out of 10, what would it be, and what would they be for this morning?
Yeah, I think we're going to the minus last night, and much better today. But for me, Alison Bell, from that inside lane, she was a long way from de Freitas as well, like the only person that she would have been able to track down. So she just had to completely focus on her own race. And it's a very, running from lane 2 is not always the easiest thing in the 200 metres. So she done really well there.
Well, 1 down, 5 to come in the women's 200 metres. If you've just joined us in the last few minutes, you're on our third morning session here at Scotstoun. These 23rd Commonwealth Games, the women's 200 metre heats, the first action on the track, 1 down, 5 to go. The men's 200 metre heats begin at just after 11:30 local time here in Scotland. That's UK time, of course, 11:32, the first men's heat UK time. And there are 10 heats with the men's 200 metres. Big, big entries here. I know we love it, but a traffic cone is sort of become the national headwear for Scotland now, hasn't it?
And I'm not sure the spectators behind would be as keen as you want to having a
scissors with you. It would be great, wouldn't it?
We
could try and do it without them knowing.
We are hearing there could be a disqualification for Say there. It's hard to say in the first heat. Might get a replay of that, but to the naked eye in the race, she looked very close to the inside of her lane. I think there could have been a lane infringement there for the Gambian athlete. We'll wait and see as we catch up with the women's heptathlon long jump. Sienna McDonald, 6 metres 15 so far. That'll be better. She gets the green light. It is a valid attempt. I can see that across the stadium. Good speed from McDonald. You'd expect that after a strong hurdles yesterday morning. McDonald, it's actually been measured at 6:15, exactly the same as her first jumper. Bit of a smile and a laugh from her and her coach.
There it is, De Freitas and Bell, 1 and 2. But Say, who we thought was third, has been disqualified. That's really sad. It must be for stepping on the line to the left of her lane, the inside of her lane on the bend. Really disappointing that for Say. Oh, what a shame for the Gambian.
Here's a look at the 8 women going in the second heat. Mia Gross, one to watch for Australia there, the Oceanic champion this year. But starting on the outside, Amanda Kondau of Malawi. It's her second Commonwealth Games. She did run a personal best in the 100 of 12.3 earlier on. Elma Cisse of Sierra Leone in the 100 as well. And here is Gross of Australia. 22.90 this season, 22.73 her lifetime best. Imani Kinnon of Montserrat will go in lane 5. She DQ'd in the 400 metres for a lane infringement, so going again here over half a lap. Asila Apkut of Papua New Guinea will go in lane 4. Nyasha Harris of Belize will go in lane 3, 24.93 her best performance. Mamakoli Senani of Lesotho will go in lane 2. So national record holder with 23.63. And Millicent Ndoro of Kenya, she's their national record holder, ran 22.91 in the semi-finals of the Kenyan Championships. She finds herself in lane 1. So Ndoro is going to have to run a very tough bend here, a very tight, fast bend to get herself in contention with the likes of Mia Gross and Imani Kernon. A little bit further out. And these athletes are seeded by their season's best, and then once they're in a heat, it is a random lane assignment in the first round. And that does leave Ndoro of Kenya in lane 1.
Set.
And they're away cleanly here in the second heat of the women's 200 metres. No automatic qualifiers, you can only advance on time. 23.25, the fastest time so far. De Freitas winning the first heat. Mia Gross has had a fantastic bend here, the Australian. Ndoro trying to find something in the last 50 metres. It's these two as they go into the closing stages. And Gross just staying ahead, 23.21. So that's the fastest time we've seen, just by a few hundredths. And Mia Gross looks pretty chuffed with that. And I think Ndoro, Danny, from lane 1, that's a really, really good effort from the Kenyan.
It is a good effort, and it was very unfortunate for her to be drawn in lane 1, and also having Mia so far out in lane 6. But she really executed it well, and it was in the latter stage of the race she really started to pull back. But Mia Gross ran such a fantastic bend and then transitioned into the straight. That was a really, really good performance for her. But of course, none of these athletes are secure yet. They've got to wait for the rest of these heats to unfold.
Gross, you can see there's quite a lot of strapping going on her back, perhaps. And choosing to run in leggings as well, staying as warm as possible. It makes it look colder than it is. It is only just underneath 20 degrees centigrade. Gross. And I love the commitment there from the Australian, running every inch of the race, going for a dip, because she knows that time will count. And 23:21 at the moment has her fastest, and Millicent Endoro 23:45 puts her kind of fourth fastest. But with 6 heats to go and 17 time qualifiers, we'll just leave it a couple of heats until we get a better idea of really who might make that cut into tomorrow's semi-final.
Jade O'Dowda then in second place overnight in the heptathlon. She opened with 6:16 in the long jump. That was worth 899 points. Here she goes, round 2, the English athlete. That looks nice. That might be pretty big. It looks way beyond 6 meters. 6:16 was her opener. She doesn't look delighted with it. I think she knows she can go further, O'Dowda. Don't let's forget, she's a 6:49 jumper. She's got a big jump in there. She just needs to find it. Lovely technician. Good height, really good leg shoot into the sand. Oh, there's the problem. Giving away more or less 19 centimeters on the board. That is massive. Remember, each centimeter is worth about 3 points. She's just given away almost 60 points. And that could be crucial, but she's got another jump to come. It's come up for O'Dowda at 6:17. She's improved by 1 centimeter. She claws back, about 3 extra points there. But O'Connor still in the lead overall. O'Dowda in second, but some 58 points behind. 68 points behind, excuse me. There.
You could just see, can't you just stepping inside on the lanes and causing that lane infringement. That's really unfortunate for her. There, she's her foot just touching the line.
And I feel like it's changed, now and again. It used to be kind of 1 step was allowed, and then it became 3. And I think it is back to 1 now. Sort of World Athletics rules, you aren't allowed to step on that inside lane, and it's a real shame that we see the athletes doing this. And we were saying it yesterday. We saw it in some of the 400s. It kind of is, you do it at one point in your career, and then hopefully never again. Yeah,
it's one of those lessons you learn the hard way, isn't it?
Well, 2 athletes not starting here. Antigua's Dowdy and Lesotho's Nalane. Neither of them are there, so the athletes on the outside with a 2-lane gap. Hanlon and Luca on the inside. There's Hanlon in lane 2, the Australian. She's probably thinking, well, why do I have to start in lane 2? In that case, when there's a couple of empty lanes, why can't they just shift us both out? But the system is not that flexible, unfortunately. The officials stick to what's been agreed. And how much would Monique Hanlon there of Australia, top right of picture in the yellow, prefer to be in lane 4, which would be eminently feasible, you'd think. It's just the, I suppose, the data and logistical adjustments in the system that stop it happening. But it does seem a bit silly when 2 athletes have been disqualified from lanes 4 and 5. Nalane of Lesotho, that would have been a lovely lane draw for her, although she was very much an outsider. Didn't even have a time to her name for this year. Mackenzie, Winfrida Mackenzie of Tanzania goes on the outside. 4 times the Tanzanian champion. Her personal best coming back on 13th. Came back in 2020, 6 years ago now, in Fotopolo of Cyprus. 11 times their champion goes in 7. And Gangela of Zambia goes in 6. Adina Gangela went out in the heats of the 100 meters. Then 2 lanes gap, and then Violetta Luca of Tuvalu. Tuvalu goes in lane 3. She's a 27.6 athlete at her best. She just looking to get a good run here. Realistically, no chance of qualifying. And Monique Hanlon, 4th in the Australian National Championships over 100, 3rd in their 200. This is a better discipline. She will be a little bit frustrated here with that lane draw, but I suspect she's been pretty fired up by the win from her teammate Mia Gross in lane 6 in the previous heat. That was 23:21, the winning time of the second heat. The winning time of the first heat by De Freitas on the outside for British Virgin Islands, 23.25. So anything down in the low 23s should be good enough here. Hanlon of Australia in 2. Fotopoulou of Greece, of Cyprus, rather, excuse me, in lane 7. All away they go. A lot of hard running to come from Hanlon there in the yellow, but the stagger unwinding in her favour dramatically with all those lanes between her and those on the outside. And Gangula going really well here, the Zambian athlete. She's a 23.8 athlete at her best, but the Aussie's going to win this one as well. Monique Hanlon storming away in lane 2. Watch the clock, it's a nice run, 23.12. Well, her lifetime best has been run this season, 22.60. That was actually in London just 12 days ago, where she finished in second place, 22.60. It's been lovely, hot and warm and sprinter friendly down in the south, of course. But it's not a bad morning for sprinting here. The win behind those athletes, a positive one, and Monique Hanlon wins that one in 23.12, it's confirmed as. Said something in the low 23s would do the job, and she delivered.
She certainly did, and when we talk about, you know, running your own race, she really was there, wasn't she? She was in her own race. And once, just like the first 2 heats, the seeded athletes seem to be on the very inside and the very outside and a long way apart from each other. We know it is a random lane draw, but it just seems the way it's fallen. But there was a good battle in there for the second and third places between the Cypriot and the Zambian athlete, and then Gandula and Fotopoulou. Racing for that second and third place. Obviously, it's all about time. So all the athletes, all they're focusing on now is pushing all the way through the line. But that was a great performance by Monique Hanlon. She did look a bit apprehensive and frustrated, as you said, Tim, on the start line. Probably looking outside her she only had Luca outside her, who she shut down very quickly. And then she had two empty lanes to contend with.
It was a personal best for Edina and Gandula of Zambia in lane 6. Brilliant running from her, 23.50. It was a personal best by a massive chunk. Last year she ran 23.81. That's what she's improved on. That's why she's so happy. 23.50, a big step forward.
Anna Macaulay going well here in the long jump already. 6 meters and 9 centimeters. She was delighted with that in the opening round. She did win her 200-meter heat last night, Macaulay, so the speed's there. And the distance is there as well. Mia Scary still the furthest jump of the competition, 6 meters 29. I'm loving the animation from Macaulay. She really battled in that 200 meters last night. She would have been tired from the other 3 events she'd done before that. Not mentally. She was really dialed in. You hear the squeal from Macaulay. That's because it's been measured at 6 meters 23. High fives all round. And she's still got one more effort to go. That puts her up behind Scary, ahead of her teammate, Kate O'Connor.
Well, that lane infringement coming in the second heat of the women's 200 meters now. Oh, there, the athlete outside Gross. That's very sad. And that's the second disqualification in that case. It's Kiernan finishing in, oh, Cisse disqualified, excuse me. Cisse outside the winner, Gross, Mia Gross for Australia. Sierra Leone's Elma Cisse disqualified. She didn't have a time to her name. She didn't have a 200 PB, and she still hasn't.
We've seen it, haven't we? We saw it in the 400 as well. Some of the less experienced athletes are starting to falter. I think it is possibly the pressure of this big environment. They're not used to competing in a stadium full of people.
Well, 200 meter running is a skill. You know, you've got to sort of dial yourself into each lane you get and then figure out how to run correctly there. And then look at some of the athletes here in round 4. Leclerc of Canada is all the way out on the outside. And alongside her, Anita Afrifa of Ghana. The Canadian was second at the National Championships behind Audrey Leduc, who has a bye through the first round here of the 200 metres. Leduc will appear in the semi-finals tomorrow, and Leclerc will hope to join her. Anita Afrifa, silver medalist at the 2024 4x100 metres African Championships. Marie Bangura of Sierra Leone will go in lane 6. She was actually DQ'd in the 400 metres for a lane infringement, so hopefully that will be fresh in her memory. And she won't make the same mistake as today. Masata will go for the Gambia in lane 5. Bongiwe Mahalela of Eswatini will go in lane 4. Jennifer Chukwuka of Nigeria in 3. The 21-year-old hasn't run a 200 yet this year. Claire Azzopardi of Malta will take up lane 2. This is her third Commonwealth Games. She ran 11.87 in the 100 metres on Monday. And Niza of the Maldives completes the lineup in lane 1. 25 seconds exactly this year. 17 time qualifiers, fastest we've seen so far. It's Hannon of Australia in heat 3, 23.12. The way in this fourth heat of the women's 200 metres, and there's a jog off the line here from Afrifa of Ghana. I don't know if she's got an issue or if she thought the race should be recalled, I'm not sure. But the other athletes running hard here off the bend. And it's Chukwuka of Nigeria at the moment with a small lead ahead of the Canadian out in lane 8. Leclerc trying to chase hard, but the Nigerian is gone. Chukwuka across the line, 23.26. And a strong run as well from Nayam Masata of the Gambia in the middle of the picture there. With Chukwuka, Leclerc and Nayam Masata all quite close to each other. Let's hope that they all get a chance to go through to the next round. That's a real shame for Afrifa. Just wonder if she knew she was carrying something coming into the event and gave it one more go out of the blocks. Chukwuka not moving all that well as well off the finish line here. Hopefully it's just fatigue rather than a niggle.
Chukwuka really attacked that race, didn't she? And Leclerc wasn't really in the race. It took her a long time to get in. We see here, Afrifa just doesn't start. She comes out of the blocks, but doesn't seem to pull up. Leclerc gets a really good start. But Chukwuka coming into the home straight. This is where she transitions into the home straight, and she's really powerful. And Leclerc just can't seem to claw her back. Chukwuka's just pulling away all the way down the home straight. Leclerc starts to make up a little bit of ground now, but just didn't really feature in that race. You would have expected her to be from a lane 8, just out in front. Maybe that Afrifa pulling up just slightly caught her as well.
I think you're right there, Danny. The Canadian sort of almost looks too relaxed, doesn't she, for you know, a championship race. It almost looks a little bit like a training run. And sometimes it's really hard when you try and kind of fool your brain into championship mode. When you're nervous, you're scared, you're intimidated by what's going on. And Chukwuka looked absolutely ready for it, executed every element of the race, whereas the Canadian on the outside, I mean, hopefully she's done enough to make it through to the semi-final, and that will wake her up and she'll be you know, on her A game. And she is a silver medalist in the Canadian National Championships. But Chukwuka taking the win in a personal best at 23.26 ahead of Leclerc's 23.50 and Journey 23.74 for the Gambia in third. And now with a couple of heats left to go, we'll start trying to figure out those time qualifiers. This race hasn't been factored in yet. Before this race, the 17th was at 25.88, and what a sight. I think the crowd are going to be incredibly excited to see this man arriving at the stadium.
They are indeed, yes. The man of the moment, the newly crowned world mile record holder. 12 days ago was the London Diamond League, the Saturday before last. Josh Kerr, darling of Scottish sport, never mind about Scottish athletics, darling of UK athletics and maybe of world athletics, because that 3:42 mile at the London Stadium 12 days ago, a new world record, something he'd predicted coming up in those mile heats. They are at 10 past the hour in about 15 minutes local time.
And I love that the officials treating everybody the same, making Josh Kerr take his sunglasses off and match his accreditation photo, even though I'm not sure there's any of the officials or volunteers in this building that wouldn't know what Josh Kerr looked like.
So, the penultimate heat of the women's 200 metres, 6 in total. This is heat 5. Lane 8 there is empty, I think. There was nobody in lane 8, but there is Abby Galpin of Guernsey, semi-finalist at the last Commonwealth Games over 200 metres. 23.9, her lifetime best. Hasn't broken 24 this year. Magnifique Siwaze of Rwanda went down the 100 heats here. Holds the national record from her heat in the African Championships back in the middle of May. 24.47. There in lane 5 is the Nigerian Oluyinka Olajide. She's a 23.1 performer. That was a couple of years back now. And then the Jamaican, they're always strong. Lavanya Williams, second in the Jamaican Championships in a personal best of 22.44. That was Mohammed and Lawana Mohammed of Maldives. She goes in 3. And then Pereira, Shanti Veronica Pereira of Singapore, 23.26, her best this season. She went down in the heats of the World Championships 200 last year. She'd love to progress from these here. She went out in the heats of the 100 here. This is a better discipline, though, Pereira. She's in lane 2. Tough lane draw for the Singapore athlete, but she's a 22.5 performer. So watch that inside lane, Pereira of Singapore. Mohammed of Maldives goes in 3. Williams of Jamaica 4. Olajide, Nigeria 5. Umutezi Uwaze of Rwanda 6. Galpin in 7 for Guernsey. And O'Connor is a no-show on the outside in the empty lane 8.
Set.
Really good start there in lane 4 from Lavanya Williams of Jamaica. She probably leads at the moment. She's already gone past the Nigerian round the crown of the bend. Big lead being built here, although good running too from Pereira in lane 2 in that red strip for Singapore. Pereira challenging hard here, really working to get back at the Jamaican. This is a nice little battle. It's drawing them well clear of the rest, but it is the win for Williams there from Pereira. Third place for the Nigerian Olajide. And the winning time 22.91 with a tailwind of 0.8. That is quick. That's very quick indeed. Her lifetime best 22.44. That came in the warmth of Kingston back in middle of June. But that's a lovely run from Lavanya Williams. It was a nice lane draw, lane 4. She'll be delighted with that. Pereira, great run from her too, to push so hard for second place from lane 2. Williams 22.91. Pereira 23 seconds dead. Has just run a massive season's best for that second spot.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen any of the women dip under 23 in these heats. But Williams gets a fantastic start, really, really strong start. But it's just coming off the bend that Pereira really transitions off the bend into the home straight. That's where she starts to close that gap up and give herself that 23 dead and that massive lifetime, that massive season's performance. But Williams looks really smooth throughout the race. She gets a really good start, and then into the bend and the home straight. But it's Pereira coming off that bend for me. That's where she really started to close that gap up a little bit.
Well, she will be a factor, Lavanya Williams. Anybody's second in the Jamaican Championships. And look at this. Violetta Luca of Tuvalu treading on the line. Is that another disqualification from heat 3? That's look at that. 2 didn't start, and 2 disqualifications. Luca and then Gangela of Zambia. What a shame. I thought she'd run a personal best. Dear oh dear.
Seeing more footage here. Bangura of Sierra Leone, who finished strongly for 3rd place in heat 4. A little bit close to her lane as well. And it is unfortunately a disqualification for Bangura.
Goodness me, I don't think I've ever seen so many disqualifications in a qualification first round. There it is, Lavanya Williams winning in 22.91. Sage Connor didn't start, we know that from Anguilla, but Pereira, brilliant run there. Season's best for the 23-year-old. National record for Umetezi Uwazi of Rwanda there in 4th place.
Back with the heptathlon here in the women's long jump, just going through into round 3. So final jump for Kate O'Connor, 6:23. Oh, that looks better. I was going to say her second attempt was a minor foul. She was only just over the board. And she's wincing again here, O'Connor. She's not convinced that was valid. She's just waiting for the green flag. Brilliant showing here from O'Connor. She had to make this long jump count. Jada Dowda had an opportunity to pick up points against the Northern Irish athlete that she hasn't capitalised on yet. Perfect on the board from Kate O'Connor. 6:37, a big sigh of relief from Kate O'Connor. That's really significant when we consider this gold medal battle fires coming across these heats. And at the moment, 17th is Amani Kiernan of Montserrat with 24:13. Elena Valletta-Young of Fiji in lane 8. Alana Reid of Jamaica, she won their national championships in 22:29, new lifetime best this year. Chloe David of Vanuatu goes in lane 6. Frederique Chausson of Canada in 5, lifetime best 23:08. Asimene Simawaka of Malawi will go in lane 4. She's their national record holder at 22:91. That was a few years ago. Antonique Strawn of Bahamas goes in lane 3. She made the semi-final in this event back in the Gold Coast. Kelly Bentham of Barbados completes the lineup in lane 2. She ran a lifetime best a couple of weeks ago, Bentham, in 23:25, but Alana Reid might have just seen her teammate Lavanya Williams run the fastest time of the morning so far at 22:91. And they're away here. It's a strong start from the Jamaican in lane 7. Alana Reid already outside Valletta-Young. Has flown past the Fijian. Alana Reid going very well into the straight here. I wonder if she'll just start to cruise through the last 50 to win the Jamaican national title over this event. Means she's seriously good, and she's going to become our second athlete to go under 23 seconds. 22:94 for Reid. Just slower than her teammate, but second fastest of the day. Good run from the Canadian Chausson on her inside.
That was a great performance from Alana Reid, wasn't it? And she looked like she still had more in the tank as well. Coming into those closing stages of the race, she wasn't necessarily looking like she was shutting down, but she also didn't look like she was fighting to get across that line. So she looks like she's got more to offer. That was a great performance by her. The Chausson from Canada as well. Fantastic for her. Just 2 lanes inside. She would have had Reid in her sight. She would have had her round the bend. And as they transition into the home straight, see Chausson working quite hard, just working all the way through to the finish. But Reid just looks really comfortable.
It does. And it was close packing behind from Antonique Strawn and from Simwaka of Malawi. Remember that final time qualifying spot was with Bentham 23:96, and I think Bentham would have been nudged out of those spots. But you're right, Danny. Reid looking very relaxed, very composed. The title was won last time we had this championships by Elaine Thompson-Herah. She did the double, the 100-200 double in Birmingham at the Commonwealth Games. So it'll be good footsteps to follow in for anyone, but particularly the Jamaican women who want to have their name up alongside a true great of our sport. There's the confirmed results. Alana Reid, 22:95. Chausson, 23:13. And you can see Antonique Strawn and Simwaka have already been given their little cues. Season's best for them and a spot in tomorrow's semi-final.
And there's the progression through to the semi-finals, 22.91. Just two athletes under the 23 barrier, both Jamaicans. Lavanya Williams, 23.91, Alana Reid, 22.95. All of these athletes getting through to the semi-finals. Remember, there were due to be 17 of them from these 6 heats, with 8 athletes having had a bye from the first round of the 200-meter races and into the semi-finals. Now they
Wagwan, my Jamaican family, and once again welcome back to the Yardie Reacts. If it is for the first time you are checking me out, kindly subscribe, like and share to my YouTube channel. And to my returning subscribers, I'd wanna say thank you very much for the love and support you are always giving unto me. Whereby we diving onto this amazing video, and whereby our video covers the women's 200-meter heats at the 2026 Commonwealth Games held in Scotland, whereby the format for the competition relies on time qualifiers for advancement to the next round, as there are no automatic qualifiers from the heats. And let's look onto the highlights, whereby I've got the race results, and athletes like Beyonce de Fratus, Mia Gross, Monique Hanland, Jennifer Chuko, Lavanya Williams, and Alana Reid delivered notable performances to lead their respective heats. Disqualifications, a recurring theme throughout the heats was the high number of disqualifications due to a lane infringement where athletes stepped on the inside of their lanes, a common but unfortunate occurrence in championship racing. We had the Heptathlon context, whereby our video provides updates on the concurrent women's heptathlon long jump, featuring athletes like Sienna McDonald and Kat O'Connor, highlighting the intense pressure and technical skill required in the event. We had the crowd atmosphere, whereby the event features an energetic atmosphere with significant support for the athletes and special interest from local fans. And regarding stars like Josh Carr, to the conclusion, by the end of the heat, Lavanya Williams and Alana Reid emerged as the only 2 athletes to dip under the 23rd or rather 23-second barrier, setting the stage for the upcoming semi-finals. And let's look at the advanced to the semi-finals. Who advanced? The women's 200-meter semi-final field was determined by a combination of time qualifiers from these heats and athletes who were granted a bye through the first round. Notable performers who advanced from the heat include Lavanya Williams from Jamaica, qualified with the fastest time of the morning at 22.91 seconds. Alana Reid from Jamaica qualified as the second fastest athlete with 22.95 seconds. Monique Hanland from Australia won her heat with a time of 23.12 seconds. Beyonce de Fratus from British Virgin Island won the first heat in 23.25 seconds, and Jennifer Chuko from Nigeria won her heat in 23.26 seconds. Additionally, athletes such as Anthony Strone and Simaka secured their spots through season-best performances in their respective races. A total of 17 time qualifiers were set to advance these 6 heats, joining the 8 athletes who held a bye. And just to dive into more, why was so many athletes disqualified? The high number of disqualifications in the women's 200-meter heat was primarily due to lane infringements, and in championship 200-meter racing, athletes are strictly prohibited from stepping on or over the inside line of their lane while navigating the bend. Several competitors such as Say in Heat 1, Elma Sese, and Heat 2, in Heat 2, and Fleta Luca in Heat 3 were disqualified because they inadvertently touched the line with their foot while running the curve. And they just noted that this is a common, albeit unfortunate, error in high-pressure competition environment where athletes may be pushing their limits or struggling to manage the tight turn while maintaining speed. And to look onto more of it, what is the heptathlon long jump update? The women's heptathlon long jump has been a closely contested event throughout the morning. Here is the latest progress. Sienna McDonald opened with a solid 6.15 meter and maintained that distance on her second attempt, clearly pleased with her technical performance, whereby Jord Dow struggled initially with board positioning, giving away about 19 centimeter. On her jump, she improved slightly to 6.17 meter on her second attempt, but acknowledged the frustration of not hitting her full potential. And Anna McCauley delivered an impressive performance, jumping 6.09 meter in the opening round and following up with a strong 6.23 meter effort, showing great speed and composure. Kato Corner, after a minor foul in round 2, she rebounded with a perfect and significant jump of 6.37 meter, which puts her in a strong position for the overall gold medal battle. Yeah. And how many athletes have a bye? According to the video, 8 athletes were granted a bye through the first round of the women's 200 meter event. Who is currently leading the heptathlon? Mainly because it is featured on this video based on the heptathlon long jump coverage in the video. O'Connor is mentioned as the overall leader. Throughout the long jump segment, there is a close battle for points, and Jord Dow and Kate O'Connor are highlighted as key competitors, while Kate O'Connor has put in a strong performance with a final jump of 6.37 meter to help her position. The commentary notes that O'Connor held the lead overall during the long jump competition. Yeah, so guys, I would love to cover again more on it, when are the semi-finals scheduled to happen. Just to give you the information, the women's 200 meter semi-final are scheduled to take place tomorrow. Athletes who qualified from these heats, along with those who were granted a bye through the first round, will compete in these semi-finals. And what is the time qualification criteria? Accordingly to the video, it explains that for the women's 200 meter event, there are no automatic qualifiers from the heats. Instead, the top 17 fastest athletes across all 6 heats advance to the next round based on their finishing time. Bye guys, that leads us to the end of this amazing video. I hope you have enjoyed it until this time, and I'm very much grateful for each and every one of you, and to each and every athlete that competed. May they be granted full energy so as we can continue seeing them onto the tracks and fields events. Thank you very much guys for following up the video with me. I was your host here, the React. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe, like and share to my YouTube channel. And to my returning subscribers, I'd want to say thank you very much for the love and support you are always giving unto me. Always remember to link me up through my next video. So I'd want to say is peace out there.